speak through Fox News and let the independents who are tuning into you, let them know what it is that she stands for, the principles behind her positions.
It used to be that new candidates were advised to brush up on the issues so they could handle questions from anyone, even tough questions. The idea behind that was that it prepared you also for actually governing. But now the advice to candidates is only to talk to sympathetic reporters.
We need to start now by electing strong leaders who aren't afraid to shake it up. We need strong, principled leaders, public servants who respect our Constitution.
We need clarity. We deserve answers, so we don't ask the same questions tomorrow.
Good night, Lon.
Politico.com posted an article in which anonymous Republican sources said that after the midterms were over, the goal of the GOP establishment is to derail a Palin candidacy in 2012. Sarah Palin criticized the article. Jim Vandehei co-authored the article. I spoke with him just a short time ago. So, Jim, there's obviously the possibility that Sarah Palin herself didn't mark that tweet as a favorite, but her aides in the past have tried to make clear that Sarah Palin is responsible for everything on that Twitter page. In October's issue of Vanity Fair, a Palin staffer named Rebecca Mansour was quoted as saying, anything that goes out under Palin's name is hers.
I'm skeptical that everything that goes out is hers, but if they're taking credit for it, they're taking credit for it. But the truth is, Anderson, this is why the establishment in Washington is so nervous about her actually running for president. And trust me, they think she is going to run for president and that she could win the nomination. And that scares the Republican establishment. Not one or two members, virtually every single person I talk to in Washington is fearful that she'll run because they think that she would be an unmitigated disaster for the Republican Party because they don't think that she can control herself or that she could win the nomination.
You authored the article in Politico recently, which Sarah Palin herself objected to, and you know, citing all these anonymous sources. But the people you talk to, I mean, were mainstream Republicans in the establishment, high-profile people.
Right, and it's a worst-kept secret in Washington. There's nobody in the establishment that I've talked to on background that wants her to run for president. I think that she knows that. Nobody. And almost every person you talk to knows that. And I think it's the reason she went on Fox Business News the day after she was critical of that story and basically said, yes, the establishment doesn't want me to run, because she knows it's sort of her against the establishment. That's her appeal. There's no doubt she's a force in Republican politics. She can turn out a crowd like no other. She can generate news and controversy like no other. If she did run, she would be formidable. But the establishment doesn't want her to run because they feel, you know what, she can't win the middle. She could not win the country. She might win the primary, but she would give Obama the presidency. That's why they're nervous. I mean, the truth is, I don't know the specifics about what she did with this tweet. What I do know is that she's often on Twitter. She's often sending out things and stirring up controversy. She's come after Politico twice in the last week on Twitter in very specific and direct ways. That's the way that she operates. And her supporters love it. They love it when she's attacking the quote-unquote mainstream media. It's her against the establishment. It's her against Washington. That's her appeal.
We've obviously reached out to Palin camp for comment on this whole Twitter retweeting of a picture saying it was her favorite. No comment yet from them, although I'm sure maybe she'll say something on Twitter about it down the road. But clearly she recognizes something is amiss because they've now wiped clean that page. Jim Vandehei, good to have you on from Politico.
Take care, Anderson.
You think Governor Palin has sort of gotten a raw deal?
Sure.
And so you feel that she is presidential material?
She's as much presidential material as Biden is. Yeah. I think the front runners right now are clearly Governor Palin and Governor Romney and Governor Huckabee. I mean, if you just look at the polling numbers, all three of those. So I'm probably fourth.
She's extra sassy these days, too, because she's winning. All her mama Grizzlies are winning. And they're busting through that glass ceiling. And the mama Grizzlies are going to Washington, and they're going to flip your picnic table, Dave. You know what I noticed on Fox News last night, though, is on Fox News, they address her as Governor Palin, which is like calling me Dairy Queen employee. I was once, but I quit.
That's right.
There is that point there that somehow Sarah Palin forgets
seriously about 2012.
Right,
she raised money.
Mike, here's the only problem with that.
Yeah.
The only problem with it is that there were some candidates that she endorsed that won.
Yeah.
But that grizzly bear that she showed would have drawn more votes than Joe Miller in Alaska. The Grizzly probably would have done much better than Christine O'Donnell in Delaware. Her endorsement of Christine O'Donnell at the end cost the Republicans a seat in the United States Senate. That is not an opinion. That is an objective fact. And you can say the same thing about Nevada. Sharon Engel in Nevada cost Republicans a seat there. So this talk about mourning, you could do another video talking about the reckless endorsements she made that cost Republicans seats in the Senate.
No, that's absolutely true, and there's a lot of talk among Republicans about the fact that they easily could have a tie. They were very, very close to having a 50-50 Senate, and it's because of the Tea Party, it's because of Sarah Palin that may have cost that 50-50 tie.
And I'm not just picking on Sarah Palin here, because if Sarah Palin, I'm glad she got out, and everybody has a right to get out and get engaged, so I salute her for doing that. But if you're going to go out and brag about all the great things that you did, the day after your candidate lost in your home state where you were the governor, I know they're doing a recount, but her candidate lost in Alaska to somebody that did a write-in candidacy at the end. That is as humiliating of a loss as even Sarah Palin's worst critic could imagine.
Right, and when you add it up and when you realize that majority or a tie was within reach for Republicans.
All right, Mike Allen, thanks so much. Joe, a quote you'll like in the Politico piece from Lindsey Graham. Candidates matter. It was a good night for Republicans, but it could have been a better one. We left some on the table. If you think what happened in Delaware is a win for the Republican Party, then we don't have a snowball's chance to win the White House.
Exactly. If that's how people are thinking, they don't understand what it takes to build a national party. You wrote about this in the Daily Beat.
We did, but to get just back to Palin for one moment, don't you think that one of the problems that her candidates, her Grizzlies, didn't all rise up on their hind legs as she said they would, is because she was so careless, in a sense, in the choice of who she endorsed. It's a bit like her own record, where she thinks that a lack of intellectual content is okay. It actually isn't okay. And as you saw with Engel, she turned out to be a wacky candidate, and she said she spent that entire Harry Reid campaign saying that he should be retired, but this candidate couldn't do it.
Listen, there is no doubt that given stronger candidates, no doubt in the world, Republicans would have won Delaware. Yeah. They had the guy. Republicans would have won Colorado.
Nevada.
Republicans would have won Nevada. Republicans would have won outright Alaska. That is 4 seats.
Yeah.
4 seats that would have put them in charge. So while people are patting themselves on the back, understand you just made Pat Leahy chairman of the Judiciary Committee for another 2 years, and if that's something you want to make a commercial about,
and a big old bear growling,
you don't think like most political strategists and actually conservatives that want Republicans to be the national party again. But go ahead, celebrate screwing us on 4 different races. Be proud of yourself. Way to go.
That bear's
Put that one on Facebook.
We have a great scorecard on the beef.
Suppose Senator John Doe puts forth a constitutional amendment that would outlaw abortion, even in cases of rape or incest, and he asked you to attend the announcement and support him in that. Would you do it?
I would. Yes, a proposal like that, I would stand by it.
Let's be completely clear about the facts here. There is no place in the world and no time in history where restricting women's reproductive rights makes a people or a nation more free or more equal. These extreme positions on abortion are, without any question, a war on American girls and women, and the fact that there are women who are both complicit and participatory in it is really neither surprising nor unprecedented. It has always been true, and it is incredibly important that we recognize that despite the fact that we can be very proud of these women and as politicians, that the question is, how do women as citizens fare on the other side of them either being elected or not elected?